Can I begin?
You can begin.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
2 questions I am asked continually, and I figured I have the answers, and I'd like to answer. The 2 questions that are always asked are the following. First, you were born with talent. Is that why you paint? Because you were born. And the other question is, what is the secret to being an artist? I have to answer them both. I am such a hard worker. But there's a qualification. I only do what I love. And I found that out very early on when I went to art school, which had been my dream. And they gave me anatomy lessons by having somebody be paid to pose nude in class. And that's great for anatomy, but it doesn't make you understand humans. And so I quit art school and I went out into the streets where people slept on park benches and didn't move, where people begged for food and I could draw them. And I found out, what do I love? I need to understand. I need to understand who we are and why we live in this awesome planet and kill each other. And that question has been mine since I was 8 years old. And I'm still questioning it, I'm still asking. But I came up with something. I've been doing a lot of thinking. And I think it is the people you allow in your life. I'm going to begin speaking about people. Later on, I'll speak about the people in here. But now let me tell you the 2 people, one of the many whom I will talk about, who gave me who I became. One was my father. His name was Jacob Kelman, and he loved art. And he came from a home where there was no art. It was a poverty-stricken, highly religious family in Poland. I think we're all made up of many parts. And if you begin to watch your children when they're little, you'll see what they head towards. And it may not be what earns you a living, but it makes them whole. It makes them be complete. And I love to draw.
Mom, I'm so sorry to interrupt for a moment.
Okay. You look serious.
Dear folks, we are hearing that the sound is off. Hedy, could you speak? Are other people having a hard time hearing Hedy?
Who said so?
Janine.
Janine would know.
Yeah, so other folks, can you hear Hedy? Could you let us know? Mom,
yes.
Speak a little bit more.
I'll speak a little louder first of all.
Yeah, if somebody could just let us know if Hedy is being heard, that would be great. Just someone comment and let us know.
Yes, but you also, Janine.
Oh, the sound is good. Okay, the sound is good.
Who said so?
A few people. A few people.
Not Janine.
Not Janine. So Janine might have to work on her sound. Oh, now it's back. Okay, you are good.
Oh, great.
Sorry for the interruption, everyone.
Okay, let me go back to
But should I just tell you? The volume seems low, I'm hearing. So there is something going on. But we can overall hear. It's okay.
And I could speak louder.
Okay, good. Maybe that's a good idea.
And I could move a little closer.
That won't help because the mic. So just to say that since we're having a little moment of break, Janine says, I can't wait to see it. Carol Hodkin is watching.
Hi, Carol.
John says, hi, Ken. Hi, Hedy. Hugs from California. Hugs back, John. Lauren is watching. Lauren Ruff. Kent Almqvist is watching from Sweden. Hi, Kent.
He's coming in September.
Woohoo! And Michelle is watching. Hello, Hedy and everyone. Love you. We love you too, Michelle. Martha says, I can hear you. Eileen Cutler says, hello, Ken and Hedy. Carol says as well, it freezes, but I hear. JT says the volume is low. Eileen says the mic isn't working yet, but people can hear. So
Okay.
I'm going to...
But it doesn't hurt if I speak louder.
And I'm going to do something as well, Mom. Sorry, dear folks, for the interruption. Sometimes that happens with the mic.
And us.
And us. Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Then let me go back to my father, okay?
Yes.
My father loved to sing. And he sang. And John Taracusa, all the way in California, picked up that when he asked me questions. When we were very poor, I need to explain refugees for you. Refugees count every penny because they don't know when they'll need it. Just like the way friends of mine in New York always carry a little bit of money with them, so that if somebody who looks dangerous looks as if he might grab their purse, they quickly hand them a couple of dollars. That's why my father sung. And at that time in Panama, we couldn't, there were 4 of us, we could not afford an egg for everybody. But there was a day when we did, when my father had 4 eggs, and he put them into a pot of boiling water, and he sang, "Es ist zu schön, um wahr zu sein." I told that to John in California, and he was intrigued by that. He's making a film, and it's going to be in the film. It means it is too good to be true. Not good as much as good, but miraculous. We have an egg for each of us. And so when that film comes out, in some way or other, John will have put it in. And he in California and Kenny in Long Island began to look for that song. And Kenny, do you have it?
I do.
Kenny is going to play it right now.
And you haven't heard it since your dad would sing it.
Yes. And now I have it. Es ist so schön.
Das ist zu schön, um wahr zu sein. So wie ein Wunder fällt auf uns nieder. Oh Paradies, ein goldener Schein. Danke. Danke.
Okay. My father,
Lots of hearts coming, Mom.
yes, my father believed in joy. People ask me why I always am able to find the bright side of things. That's who he was. He injected that into the family. My brother Richie was the same way. And I'm going to begin speaking about the people who shaped me. Es ist zu schön, um wahr zu sein, which means it is too miraculous. The word is really beautiful, but my father meant a miracle. Whatever there was, he ignored the negative and spoke of the positive. He ran away from home because he wanted to eat the way people did in Vienna. Okay. And then there is Eric. I once asked Eric, why did you pick me? There were so many women after you. And he said, because you carried joy, and I needed joy. Eric escaped, rather was liberated, May of 1945 from Dachau, from a Nazi concentration camp. And instead of speaking about it, he ran away from people who kept asking him, how was it? Because he said, I was a victim once. Why should I tell you how to let me feel that I'm still a victim? So I'm not going to talk about it. Not only that, we knew friends, people who became friends, who had been in the camps with him. Slowly but surely, he eliminated them from his life. And so from Eric, I learned, live it. When Joni said to me, Mom, you hide in doorways when you drive, when you draw. What do you really want to do? Because I had become very afraid during the Nazi times, when we were in hiding. And so I felt safe if nobody saw me. And Joni said, Mom, why? And I said, because I don't want anybody to see me. And she said, what do you really want to do? And I said, I would like to understand more. I would like to sit on a street corner and paint with a canvas and do what I've never done before. And she said, Dad, did you hear what Mom said? What can you say to her? And he said, whatever you need to do, do it at the moment. You might never get the chance again. As long as you don't hurt anybody, don't hurt anybody. And so I learned not to hurt people when I drew them. In other words, if there were people who didn't want to know what they looked like, I didn't show them the picture. And when I did it for money later on, when I became good enough, I worked until they loved it. So, what Eric said when I told him, he said, what are they gonna do? Arrest you? Do it. There's no chance of being arrested. And those are the two people I wanted to mention. Now let me speak about this painting. When, for a long period of time, can you all hear me?
Everyone hears you, yeah.
Good. For a long period of time, I painted what I saw. I wanted people to know we exist. Don't let us disappear. Because there had been this thought in my mind, and still is. Someday, maybe the UFOs have extraterrestrials in them. And if they come and they learn our history, they're going to say, I don't want these. They're ugly. They hate each other. They had a Holocaust. They have slavery. They're mean to the people who come into this country. And I had to prove that we are wonderful. I tried to figure out if we really are. And I did. I found out what it was. I think the world, our world, is composed of little acts of kindness. And I think those little acts of kindness build up and form a solid. And that is the world. Of course, on that size, there are people who hate people. they form their own solids. Maybe I can convince some of them to come around and join these. So, let me begin. I'd like to begin right now with these two people whom I just put in. Okay? Of all the people in the world whom you're supposed to hate, it's an in-law. Well, we're both in-laws with each other. I am the mother of Kenny, and she is the mother of Greg. And we decided that we would become friends. And we love each other. And we write to each other. And we speak to each other. And I began them today. So as the weeks go by, because now I have to wait until they're both dry, and I have to tell you about Bernard. Bernard taught me by his being that it's possible to write and know what the notes are. I am very careless. I have papers that I need desperately in every room in the house, nicely put into a drawer. They're not lying loose, but I do not remember which is in which drawer. I saw the book that he wrote about the world I grew up in, which is Austria. And he gave, it is such a friendly book. He gave in the correct chapters notes. And the notes are what I needed to know about. And I thought, maybe it is possible to be a writer or an artist and to be kind to yourself. Because not only was he kind to the reader, but from seeing it, I realized he has an inner kindness. And because of that, he thinks of me, the reader, and does the notes so that everything is in place. Bernard, I thank you. Okay? You watch these two grow, okay? Now, this to me is, when I finish it, the family of Long Beach. What I would like to have be the gold standard of what a family should be. Harvey Wiesenberg has been our assemblyman 5 million times. Until he decided to retire, he was always voted into office. He fell in love with Ellen, and she had a child with multiple illnesses. He was blind. He couldn't walk and talk. But he gave love. And I once asked Harvey, explain what you mean. And he said, there are no words. He gives love because he feels it. And people who have children who are loved like he is will understand. And I still would like to put Vicky in, but I couldn't get through to her, so I will keep on trying. And this is this wonderful boy, Ricky. And I'm going to show you Ricky because when I was going to do this book, can you show the book lying next to you? The blue book.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's right there. You got it, yes.
Wait 1 second, let me just
Yes.
put this on here again. Sorry folks, don't get too dizzy.
Okay, it's right there. Our special children. Eric and I were volunteers, but actually so were our children. Joni and Kenny went to help a little boy named Craig Sabatz. And I will talk more about that another time. But they remained volunteers because of it for the rest of their lives. Kenny's a psychotherapist, and he is amazing. And Joni works with people coming out of prison and is equally amazing. And they came from being volunteers. And all of you, the what?
Is there a picture in there?
Yes. A picture of Eric.
Of Ricky? Was there a picture?
No, I have it in. I have the Ricky picture.
Oh,
right
whatever
here.
you wanted to do, yeah.
This is his photograph, by the way. And then I'll show you the drawing I made. And eventually it'll look like him. There he is. Okay? To me, they are the first family. Because that is who they are. Okay? Now, I would like to tell all of you, especially if any of you are doctors, speak clearly. The reason I ended up in rehab with a broken hip and a broken shoulder is I had what I know was a stroke, because things became fuzzy and all of that. And Kenny took me to a clinic, and the doctor said, take these pills whenever you need them, but remember they might make you feel lightheaded. I didn't know what lightheaded meant. I thought, I feel wonderful. I'll feel light again. He didn't say you could faint. And I did. In the middle of 7th Avenue, I suddenly fell on the cement. And please, doctors, say the real thing. On the other hand, if I would not have ended up in rehab, I would never have met the incredible people I did. They're going to be filling this area here. And the funny thing is, the amazing thing is, how we connect to people. How does, and this is for Tammy and Tracy who are here. They were the people who acquainted me with the universe, which places things and people in such a way that you meet them. But it's done in such peculiar ways. Mm-hmm. And so, how did I meet them? I went to a meeting and there were people being honored, and I didn't know who they were, and they were not wearing these uniforms, and we had a wonderful conversation. But the conversation that I'm speaking of is what happened years later, because we became close friends. And through our being together and learning from each other, I learned their truth is that if you are destined to meet somebody, it can be done through ways so complicated that you cannot know. How did I meet John all the way in California? He was a friend of my son Kenny, and so was his partner. And one day they came to visit me. I believe it was in 2017. And John said, we became friends. We talked a lot. And John said, somebody someday will do a documentary of you. But I couldn't speak of myself. People have tried. But if somebody says, tell me about yourself, how do you begin to talk? I'm this height, I'm this weight, I was born in Vienna. It's boring. But John decided that suddenly I was on Facebook. So I owe everything to Facebook because John started gathering the speeches that I made. By the way, this is John over here.
And he is sending hearts and thumbs up to you.
Okay.
And some people have some comments that I didn't get to read you.
Well, then let me first just introduce these two. John, okay,
Wendell.
and Wendell. And out of it comes us tonight. Because if not for Facebook, people couldn't find out about me because I couldn't speak. But suddenly, because of Facebook, he gathered everything together, and he sits there with hundreds of hours and pulls me out. And when you see that film, you won't believe it. He understood me in a way that I had not understood myself. Okay, do you want to read the rest of the comments?
I sure will.
Okay. And thank you in advance for the comments.
So, Tammy says, hi, Hedy. And Paula Lakshan says, Hedy looks so beautiful tonight. Sending love. Martha said the volume's good. Eileen explained that you're being picked up by the phone mic, but that it's okay. And she says, hi, loves. Dory says, Dory's here.
This is Dory. She makes it possible for me to be on YouTube. She's a genius. I'll talk about her one day because she knows how to use time. She said to me, I need time. I can't afford to lose it, so I make sure I don't.
And Eileen Cutler says, Eileen told me that I had you well framed at one point. Yay, my mentor. Julie Williams is watching. Michelle said that she wants to make plans soon, and she'll call you soon. Janine says that is fascinating. Tammy is sending you hearts. Julie, in response, I guess these are in response to the story about the eggs. Julie says, what a great story. And Janine says, beautiful. Tammy says, you still carry joy. And Eileen Cutler says, I wish I could have known your father. I'm grateful I knew your mom and your beloved Eric. And Julie says, my dad too, always focused on the positive. And Eileen said, you carry the essence of don't postpone joy. And Julie says, agreed, Eileen. I would have loved to meet Hedy's dad, the source of her optimism and joy. And Dory says, if you paint it, they will come, which is a Field of Dreams pun. Elena Taylor's watching. John Teracuso says, it is a pleasure, Hedy. And the last comment is from Elena, who says, you are such a treasured gift to everyone who knows you.
I didn't hear the name.
Elena Taylor.
Yes. Her book is right here. I will speak about her when I get her face done. Goodbye, all of you. I do love you so.